Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. And the Galaxy Z Flip from Samsung is, of course, a fairly new form factor with foldable displays, which still to me is crazy that you can have a display that actually folds in half and opens. With that being said, I want to give some further impressions that I have after using this phone for a few days. There's a group of things I'd like to touch on, including the form factor in general. You have a smaller front display I'd like to talk about. And actually last night, this phone dropped about 3 feet onto tile, so I'll talk about that as well. Let's go ahead and get started. Something I'm noticing about this small flip phone is the bottom part. The back of it is extremely slippery, and one way I noticed that is when you set it on any sort of table or surface that's smooth, that has any sort of incline, it will start to slide actually. And I noticed this last night. I have a bedside lamp that has some tables on it, and it apparently wasn't flat, and it very slowly, I was actually asleep, and I was woken up to the phone dropping, and it landed on some tile, woke me up. Thankfully, there's just a little mark on the corner, and that's all I can see with it, so no damage, which is promising, of course, a 3-foot drop. And of course, as you can tell, there's no case on it, and realistically, you're probably gonna have a case on your Flip. It does actually come with one, and I found that it does add friction to the bottom, adds a little more grip when you do have a case on it, so that is definitely recommended. I also want to give some further thoughts on the flip phone form factor after using it for a little bit of time. First of all, there was never a pain point for me having a larger phone in my pocket. That was never an issue. No phone actually protruded out of my pocket, but I do understand that some people have an issue. Maybe you want it in your purse, maybe you wear skinny jeans, maybe you just have smaller pockets in your pants. A smaller phone would make a lot more sense if that was a pain point for you. And you don't just have to put it in pants pockets. Maybe you have a pocket in your shirt. Put it on in. Not quite the best look, as you can tell. Or maybe you have a more realistic shirt with a pocket in it. You can set it right in there. It does not protrude out. For me, it's not very comfortable. And I also am a little worried. I might kind of forget about it and bend over to pick something up and it'll go flying out of my pocket. So for me, my pants pocket's the way to go. I'm also a big fan of the always on display, being able to see the time without touching my phone, or maybe I missed a notification and it shows an icon. So as you can see, when you do have it open sitting there, you can actually have the always on display right there. Now, with that being said, I know this is because I'm probably haven't gotten used to it yet. I'm still overly cautious using this phone. It doesn't have an IP water resistant rating, so that is something I'm a little nervous about. Maybe I spill some water. And I feel like the phone's a little bit more safe when it's closed, so when it is sitting on my desk, I kind of like to have it closed just in case anything were to fall on the screen, any sort of liquid were to get on it, and I know I'm just being overly cautious simply because it is a new form factor, it's an expensive phone, and that over time, I might get a little more comfortable leaving it sitting on a desk with just the display up. When it comes to the front display, I looked around and I really wish that there was a way to have an always on display showing the time so I can glance at it and check the time. I don't think there is one in settings. I looked around. If you know if you can actually have an always on with this front display, let me know in the comments. It would probably have to bounce around though. The time would have to bounce around as to prevent screen burn-in. Anyways, there's some functionality to the front display. First of all, when listening to music, if you swipe over, you'll see you could just go ahead and skip songs, play, pause. Very simple there. You don't have to flip up in the phone to control that music. Another functionality it has within the camera app, you can have it turn on in the upper right-hand corner, the cover screen preview. So whatever your viewfinder is looking at, it will actually preview in that small display, which seems useful. It seems really small though, so if you're maybe taking a group shot, nobody can really see that small screen. It might be okay if you're trying to take selfies with that rear camera, but it goes to show maybe a larger screen would be a little bit more beneficial for this feature. Now you also have the functionality of notifications. So let's send myself a text. And you'll see, it pops up, it vibrated in my hand, it said, how's your day going? And then it goes away. And that is one thing I kind of wish. I wish it would stay lit after the notification came through to let me know what kind of notification it was. Maybe just show the messaging icon, something like that. I just wish there was a little bit longer because when I glance at it, I might miss that quick message. I might not be able to look away right away. So I have to kind of double tap, swipe over, and then if I do want to actually click on it, I have to go into it. Now, if I do tap on it, I can open the phone for notification details, unlock it, and it will go to that app. Overall, I think I would like a larger display on the front of this phone. Those are just some initial impressions, of course. Now let's open it up and take a closer look at the display, specifically because it is inset. As you can tell, there's some space between the top here and the display itself, specifically to help protect it in general. Now, when it comes down to it, I found the gestures to be just fine. That was one thing I was actually a little bit worried about, was how are the gestures actually going to work? The back with the swipe up, swipe and pause. It has not been an issue whatsoever to use these. Even with a bit of an inset, you just kind of get used to it. The hinge feels very solid. Of course, it is still a new phone, so I'll need to test it out more, but opening it on up is still difficult. I have not quite gotten used to it just yet. Especially if I have something in one hand and I need to open it with one hand, it feels still a little bit awkward. I haven't gotten down the right quick way to flip it on open, just because it is actually a little bit harder and requires a little bit more force to open and close. Another thing I've noticed is that this phone's very tall. So watching a 16:9 video such as my own, you'll see you get some black bars on the left and right side. Zooming in will crop out quite a bit of that video. Now, with that being said, there's still benefits to this aspect ratio when reading. Let's say there's some comments we wanted to go through and read. It fits a lot more on the screen because it is so much taller. Now, not only that, multi-window is just better with a taller screen if you're using it vertically. So if we go ahead and use open and split screen view, let's go ahead and open this. So if I want to browse Reddit while this video is playing, I can go ahead and do so. You'll see just scrolling through. And it looks just a little bit better because it is just a taller display. So we have the video running, and since it's taller, you can fit more on the bottom half of that screen. More to come on the Galaxy Z Flip. Again, this is just after 72 hours. Full review coming very soon. I just need some more time with it to test out the camera, battery life, and some other things as well. Maybe give some more impressions on the flip mechanism over time. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the Galaxy Z Flip. If you'd like to see anything in my upcoming review, just let me know in the comments. I'll be around. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.